Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Everyday Faith, day 15. Hope you guys are doing amazing today as we jump into another day, talking on the journey or theme of failure. We're halfway through the month. I think we've all grown, and I'm really excited about today's because I had a realization as I read through this real quick that I think is pretty awesome. So it comes from Psalm 119:71, and it says, "My suffering was good for me, for it taught me to pay attention to your decrees. My suffering was good for me, so it taught me to pay more attention to you." If only the outcome of failure was pain and suffering, then we'd all agree. If the only outcome of failure was pain and suffering, then we'd all agree that failure would be the worst thing ever. But the fact of the matter is the shame, regret, pain, and suffering are just a small part of failure. Failure can actually lead to and produce many more positive outcomes and good things in our lives. One example comes from the psalmist, who wrote that his suffering led him to pay closer attention to God's decrees. And I love this next line. If we take nothing from this month, this is it. Likewise, failure can become a warning signal or an alarm that helps redirect us or refocus us on our relationship with God. Failure can become a warning signal or an alarm that helps us redirect or refocus on our relationship with God. Sometimes failure is a wake-up call we need to help us remember what really matters and points us back toward the direction we need to go. And even though it might hurt, that is ultimately a good thing. So the reflection is this: take time to pray and reflect on your experiences and evaluate whether or not God may be trying to get your attention. I think of a company that I was a part of, and we had a really good run, and we were doing really well. And I was self-employed, so I didn't have a boss, and I could kind of do what I wanted to do, and was traveling a lot and was just doing well. Things were going really, really well for us, at one point there was a turning point. And I got to be honest, I was focused more on work than I was my family. I was focused more on work than I was my relationship with Jesus. I was focused on this much more than those things that really matter. And at some point, the company had a turning point, and things started to decline. It felt like failure at the time. It felt like, man, if only I would have done this, or if I could have done this, or if I could have spent more time on it. But it felt like a huge failure at the time. But what happened was it really turned me to focus on the things that really mattered. And it was a process, but it was, I felt defeated. I felt like I failed. I felt like I should have done more. I felt like it was my fault. But looking back on it, man, I needed that to happen. I needed that failure to happen for me to get my priorities right. I needed that failure to happen for me to learn about presence and what really mattered. I needed that failure so bad, even though at the time it hurt, it was painful, it was embarrassing. It was such an important time in my life for a shift to happen. The ripple effect was amazing. I could go on and on and on about this failure and why it had to happen, when it happened. But I won't get into that now, maybe another time. But again, little did I know how bad I needed to fail, and fail hard. I mean, fail hard. Or I'm not sure where we'd be today. That had to happen. And it did. It sure led me to a better relationship with my family, with my wife, my children, understanding the importance of being dad and being home. And this is where it doesn't matter how great I was on the road and the deals I could close and what I was doing from stage. None of that mattered. It didn't matter that people thought I was amazing there. I wanted people to think I was amazing here. And it took me failing there to become a better father, a better husband, a better friend, a better business partner. So again, I could get on a soapbox about this, but the failure had to happen. You may be going through that right now and not understanding, but I promise you'll look back and realize, man, that allowed me to redirect my focus on Jesus. That allowed me to redirect my focus on things that mattered. So no matter what that is for you, reflect on that. Take time to pray and reflect on your experiences and evaluate whether or not God may be trying to get your attention. Guys, be blessed. Have a great day. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.